There you go. Hey, a quick, just
Hey, go
quick
ahead.
yes, Phil, you got something?
Yep, you're all set. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, just a quick medical, RJ is, was cleared this morning, with, by the medical people. So he, obviously if there's no setbacks between now and game time, he's a go. So we practice, we're gonna practice a little bit later in the afternoon today. And that'll be our live, that'll be our only practice for the day here. So there you go. There's the medical.
Any
Question.
questions? Gavin?
Hey, Dan, how do you think your team's gonna react tomorrow? I mean, the first NCAA game and everything, and everything that goes, all the emotion that goes along with it.
I don't think what we got. I have no idea. I know these guys are excited to play. We know it's going to be, a really, really tough game, really, really physical game. But you don't know. I mean, we don't have a guy in the program that's ever played in an NCAA game. We don't have a guy in the program that's played in an NIT game or a CBI or a CIT. So, yeah, I mean, you don't know. I was in a similar position at Rhode Island with in a program that hadn't been there in an even longer period of time, and our guys, they handled the moment, beautifully against Creighton, and then obviously, the next year in the first round versus Oklahoma. But it's a player's time of year, and you gotta rise and shine.
Dave?
When RJ earlier this year, when he was a little up and down, and people were kind of wondering still wondering who was kind of going to be the number 2 scorer behind James. What gave you the confidence that ultimately that would end up being RJ and kind of be the sort of number 2 option behind James this year?
He had a history, as a player. I think his his performance in the against the high majors when he was at Howard. I think we watched kind of those high major games, a little bit closer than we watched some of his conference games. We felt like that he was a good offensive player, and then eventually it would show. Just like the freshmen, I think Tyrese, RJ, anyone that's new to like that was new to playing this season, not just with us, but across the country. You didn't get the normal summer, you didn't get the normal preseason, you throw in a couple of pauses, and it takes a little time to get comfortable, get your rhythm, especially after missing a year like he did.
Any other questions? Raise your hands, please.
That's it.
Wayne, go ahead.
Yeah, with them playing a lot of 5 out, is it harder to run against them because their guys are already a third or a quarter of the way back down the court?
Yeah, I mean, Mark, they put a lot of value in transition defense, and Morcell does, I think, a great job on the offense glass, but for the most part, their focus is transition defense. We would obviously love to get out of transition and get opportunities. Sometimes your opponent doesn't cooperate. It's easy to talk about you got to get out and run more, but it's oftentimes against really good teams it's hard to do that because most really good teams are great in transition defense. So the backboard is going to be huge in this game. It's the reason why we didn't play for a championship in New York last week. If we don't dominate the glass, that's going to be a major problem for us because we're going to be scrambling a lot on defense between sticking to our principles that we've used that have made us a real good defensive team and needing to adjust to the fact that our opponent is playing without a true post player, with the exception of Galen Smith, who plays backup minutes.
Neil?
Dan, did something click with Adama about maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago? I mean, he's played reasonably well all year, but he seems to have taken it up a notch. Was there any sign or anything in specific that sort of got him really going?
Just think, the more games under his belt, and things have slowed down for him a little bit. But I just think it's just, games played. I mean, you just, the more teams, the more games a team gets, the more games you get under your belt, just the more comfortable, the more experienced you are, and just the more confident, more comfortable. A lot of stuff that you see, or you guys have seen, or fans have seen, we see it every day in practice, and then some. There's more in his bag that people haven't seen yet. So.
Tom?
Yeah, Dan, can you just kind of reflect on the moment and the accomplishment of getting UConn back in the tournament after 5 years? I mean, UConn was a fixture in the tournament every year, and then they were gone for a while. Can you kind of just reflect on the magnitude of this accomplishment being here?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly gratifying. It's like this year 3, it's like I'm looking at the notes section of my phone on the flight out from September 1st, and it was like finished top 3 or 4 of the Big East. Doing like my preseason goals, like it was like top 3 to 4 finish in the Big East. I mean, I'm not like saying this, hindsight. I'll screenshot it to you guys, but it's like top 3 or 4 Big East. Make the NCAA tournament as an at-large, and then I wrote, and then reassess. And then reassess based on what you think you may be able to do. And then I think the third thing I wrote was just show that a lot of growth from year 2 to year 3. So I mean, we took a big step. It's hard when you're the coach at UConn with everything that Gino's done, and Coach Calhoun and Kevin and all the national championships to bow your chest out about just getting back in. But when you look at where it was a couple of years ago, just what we were putting on the floor in terms of quality and being in the American, and now being back in the Big East and being a tournament team again, and having again a potential high draft pick and top 10 class coming in. It's hard not to sit in this bubble and just not feel really good about where you're at.
Okay, a quick 2 more, Bill Paxton.
And Dan, I mean, obviously you have a couple guys in your coaching staff that have played in huge games with UConn, with Talik and Kevin. How valuable have they been this week, just trying to prepare the guys for what they're going to see?
Yeah, you must have the room bugged. I keep asking, what's that?
I don't want to pass off, so we'll go back to the car.
Whoa. RJ, hit mute. You're probably talking to Pops, probably talking to Rob. Yeah, I keep asking Talik and Kevin and Tom Moore how to win a national championship, and they haven't told me anything yet that I could use tangibly. So yeah, there's not, I think Talik started, Talik said Hall of Fame coach and like 6 first-round picks. I think Talik muttered. Kevin has yet to respond.
Last one, Mike Crispino.
Hey, Dan, how does this 7-8 day break between games compare to what you had during the season? You had a few of these pauses, some of them were 7, some were 10, 12, 15 days, whatever it was. How does this break compare to that? And is it something that's not easier to deal with, but how does that lay out for you?
Hey, listen, some teams are not going to handle, this situation well. This is a lot different. This is day 10 for us on this, on a road trip. We get into the Big East tournament last Tuesday, and now we're 10 days in. So, and again, you're in a very confined environment here, and you know, it's a different situation. I would say the layoff in terms of games doesn't worry you as a coach as much as you know, the time that we've been kind of on the road, and then, you know, I'd say just the environment here. But I don't think that's not. I mean, that's not really a concern. Like these players and these programs and these teams have dealt with, you know, a lot this year relative to COVID and the season. It's been a lot, and so I think all these teams are battle tested. But you know, when you've been on the road for 10 or 12 days, and you're kind of in this bubble thing, I think, you know, it's going to take, you know, you're going to have to be mentally tough, right? You have to be mentally tough and really dialed in. And I think that we are, and I know Maryland will be.
Okay, Coach. Thanks very much, Coach. We'll let him go.
Good job.
Thanks.
We got,
Later.
Bouknight, RJ Cole waiting. So if you guys have any questions, just put your hands up.
I'm feeling definitely a lot better than I did when I had got the concussion a week back. I'm just excited. This is my first tournament. It's our first tournament for everybody. So I'm just excited to get back out there and play basketball with my teammates.
Anybody else? No? Go ahead, Neil.
For James, also, it's obviously your first tournament as well. I know you don't have anything to compare it to, but has it been different because of all the precautions and the travel and kind of unique things of this year, or have you been able to enjoy it as much as you might have anyways?
I just been able to enjoy it and just like embrace it, just embrace everything that's going on right now. This is my first tournament, so I don't know what it's like to be in a tournament when not in the COVID season. So I've just been trying to embrace it and stay ready for Saturday.
Go ahead, Gavin.
RJ, you guys have been in Indy for a while. How anxious are you to play at the game finally?
I'm really anxious. We've been here for a long time, practicing, staying in our rooms, trying to do things that just to keep us busy, busy work. So I'm definitely ready to get down to work and get down to the real thing.
Tom?
Yeah, if you guys can both just reflect on what it means to be the group that brought UConn back to the tournament after 5 years, what that means to you guys.
I mean, that just means a lot. That's a testament to the group that we are, type of guys we are. We put in a lot of work for these past couple years, especially this year, this COVID season. It was a tough summer. We've been through a lot as a team throughout this whole year. So it's just a testament to our character and just our will to want to do something special together with the group of guys that we have. And I mean, I just think that it's a good testament it speaks to who we are as people.
Book?
Yeah, going off what he said, that it just feels good, like being a team that bring UConn back to the tournament, and then knowing from here on, it's like this is the standard. Like there's no steps backwards, and like the next teams to come, like the next players or teams playing at UConn, it's just like this is what you got to do. You got to make the tournament, and then you got to make runs, and being that first team to do it, that feels good.
Mike Crispino?
This is for both of you guys. How important or valuable is it to have guys like Talik Brown and Kevin Freeman on the staff, and Dan Hurley, who's coached in these NCAA tournaments? How helpful can that be to you guys when the ball goes up there and you start playing on Saturday?
It's very helpful because I mean, we're the ones on the floor, but they're the ones who can see everything from the outside. So like, if there's something that we have some clarification for, they have all the answers for us. They're our resources. They've been through it. They've been through the fire, and so they'll be able to help us weather the storm. So they've been a big help. They've been talking to us through what it's been like, what it was like for them when they were in the tournament, and what we should expect. So I mean, they've been a great help for us.
Book, you too?
Oh yeah, for sure. They just been able to like stay in my ear and just tell us and to understand that this is like a whole different ball game. Like this isn't like a regular season game. This is literally like when to go home. So they just been able to show us the way and keep us like motivated during a time like this and just tell us like, man, it's time to go. Like this is it.
Gavin?
What do you guys think the biggest challenge with Maryland is tomorrow?
Maryland, they're a very tough team. They're one of the best teams in their conference, and they have 3 returners from last year coming in. They have a defensive player of the year in Daryl Marcel. And they're a gritty team. They play man. They stick and switch it up, play 3-2. So I just think it's just being able to weather the storm. And I think the biggest part for us is going to have to play. Our defense is really going to be challenged. They play a 5-out, so they bring out their 5-man, Donta Scott. He's not a traditional 5-man. He can do everything. He can dribble, shoot, get to the basket. So it'll be tough for our 5-man, but I think we're up for the challenge.
Wayne?
Book, what was practice like last night when you got RJ back? Little extra spring in the step from the guys, knowing that he's going to probably play tomorrow night?
Can you repeat the question?
What was practice like last night when you got RJ back on the floor practicing, knowing that he's going to probably be playing tomorrow night?
Oh, it was exciting. I knew that RJ wasn't going to sit out the game. You know, RJ is just that type of player, man. He's so tough and like he wants this as much as anybody else. So I always knew he was going to play, but just seeing him out there and being back on the floor with the blue team, it was fun. We were just out there having fun, playing hard and getting ready for Saturday.
Dave?
James, I was wondering what you've seen on film from Marcel. Obviously, a very good defensive player. What kind of problems does he present defensively? Assuming he's probably going to get you for most of the night on Saturday.
Yeah, well, he's a very good defender. He plays physical and he likes to talk a lot. So I just gotta like keep my head and just execute the game plan and let the game come to me. Not trying to force it. Not trying to take the matchup personally. And like coach keeps stressing me to play off my jump shot to help open up the floor for me, and just being able to make plays for my teammates. And just look, it's mostly gonna be keeping my head because it's gonna be a long night. Just understand that it's gonna be a tough battle and it's not gonna be anything easy. And not to let them get in my head, not to let a couple tough possessions to stop me from taking me out my game.
Any other questions, guys? I don't see any hands up. Going once, twice, 3 times, sold. Okay, guys. Thanks, RJ. Thanks, Book.
All right, Phil.
Later.